She took me to her office party. And let another man humiliate me in front of everyone. Liam Reynolds never enjoyed corporate events. As a self-made man who ran his own auto repair business on the south side of Chicago, he preferred straightforward conversations and practical environments over polished small talk and champagne toasts. But that night he made an exception for his wife Vanessa. She had been unusually enthusiastic about this year's annual office gathering, held on a luxurious rooftop overlooking downtown. She spent days planning her outfit, adjusting her makeup, even scheduling a hair appointment, details she hadn't fretted over in years. Liam noticed, of course, but said nothing. He chalked it up to workplace pressure, or perhaps just her need to impress her colleagues. What he didn't expect was how that evening would unravel everything he thought he knew about their marriage. The venue was dazzling. String lights hung like stars across the night sky, and the skyline glowed behind them. Waiters in black ties offered hors d'oeuvres as well-dressed professionals mingled, glasses clinking and laughter echoing. But Liam. He stood near the bar, swirling a whiskey he wasn't really drinking, feeling more like a tag-along than a husband. Vanessa blended into the crowd like she belonged in a magazine spread. Confident, laughing, her eyes sparkled under the city lights. She barely glanced in Liam's direction. Nod here. Quick wave there. No touch. No conversation. He tried brushing off the tension in his gut. Maybe he was just out of place. Maybe this world of finance and flair just wasn't for him. But the subtle looks from her coworkers, the glances followed by hushes and awkward smirks, they told him something was off. Something he hadn't prepared for. Then she approached him. But she wasn't alone. Beside her stood a man Liam had never met. Tall, smug, too well-groomed for his own good. His name was Austin. Vanessa introduced him like he was an afterthought. But the way Austin stood, too close to her, one hand casually hovering at the small of her back, told Liam everything he needed to know. "So, you're the husband," Austin said with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. "I've heard something about you." Liam stiffened. "I'm gonna dance with her," Austin added, as though he needed no one's permission. Vanessa just smiled and brushed her hand down Austin's arm. "You don't need to ask him," she said airily. "Let's go." It wasn't just disrespect. It was complete dismissal. Liam felt like he had just vanished from her reality. His wife, his partner of 6 years, had just tossed away his presence like it was nothing. But it got worse. From the bar, Liam watched Austin lead Vanessa onto the dance floor. Their bodies moved too close, too comfortably. Her hand rested on his chest. His gripped her waist like he'd done it 100 times before. And she didn't resist. People around them noticed. Conversations slowed. Phones discreetly recorded. Then Austin, catching Liam's eye, smirked and slowly slid his fingers beneath Vanessa's blouse. Not high. Not indecent yet, but just enough to show intent. To show control. Liam's glass shattered on the floor as he dropped it and marched toward them. "Get your hands off my wife," he growled. The music stopped. Conversations halted. Austin turned and raised an eyebrow. "What are you gonna do about it, tough guy? You don't own her." Liam's fist clenched, not in fear but in fury. From under his blazer, he revealed just enough of the concealed holster at his waist, not to threaten, but to remind everyone that he wasn't some helpless bystander. The mood shifted instantly. The crowd froze. "Step away from her," he said coldly. Vanessa stared, unsure. Her lips parted as if caught between guilt and defiance. Austin laughed. Too loud, too confident. "Afraid she might like dancing with me more than she ever liked being with you?" The crowd gasped, and something inside Liam snapped. Without another word, he stepped forward and drove his fist straight into Austin's jaw. The man stumbled back, crashing into a table, spilling drinks and collapsing with a grunt. The rooftop erupted into chaos. Some guests screamed. Others clapped. Security rushed in. Austin didn't get up swinging. He sat there, clutching his jaw, eyes wide, the bravado gone. The man who had strutted onto the dance floor was now reduced to silence. But the moment didn't end there. As Austin was escorted out, Vanessa turned on Liam with venom in her voice. "What is wrong with you?" she snapped. "You just ruined everything." She cried, not out of shame but fury. "You humiliated me in front of everyone." Liam stared at her, dumbfounded. "You let him put his hands on you," he said. "And you're mad at me." But she didn't listen. Her tirade continued. In front of her coworkers. In front of his silence. She blamed him for the chaos. For the ruined party. For daring to defend himself. The rooftop turned cold not from the breeze, but from the realization dawning on everyone. Their marriage wasn't strained, it was broken. The aftermath. In the days that followed, the truth emerged. Vanessa had been having an affair with Austin for nearly a year. The party wasn't just a celebration, it was a coming out. Her coworkers knew. Some had even encouraged it. Liam was the only one in the dark. The humiliation he felt that night wasn't imagined. It had been orchestrated. Austin was later fired. His behavior at the party, recorded on multiple phones, gave HR no choice. Vanessa didn't escape consequences either. Her reputation crumbled. Clients pulled back. Co-workers distanced themselves. The very image she had worked so hard to protect shattered in an instant. Liam filed for divorce 2 days later. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He simply walked into the lawyer's office and began the process. The man who had stood in silence for too long was gone. In his place was someone determined to reclaim his dignity. The legal proceedings were swift, thanks to undeniable evidence of infidelity and misconduct. Vanessa lost both in court and in the court of public opinion. Reflection. Now, months later, Liam looks back on that night not with anger, but with clarity. "It wasn't just about her cheating," he says. "It was about losing myself to a version of love that never truly saw me." He realizes now that walking away was the most powerful thing he could do. "You don't wait for someone to respect you," Liam says. "You start by respecting yourself." He learned that love should never come at the cost of self-worth. That a partner who can humiliate you publicly never loved you privately. "The moment I left," he reflects, "was the moment I started healing." If this story hit home for you, let it be a reminder. Self-respect isn't given. It's claimed. Don't stay where you're treated like an option. Stand where you're valued. Hit the like button if Liam's journey inspired you, and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories of courage, heartbreak, and rising from the ashes. And remember, sometimes the most painful night is also the one that sets you free.